Hey everybody, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TYT Sports. This next story comes to us from Deadspin, and it's about a kid in high school in Washington State named Dylan Fosnacht. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. Dylan pitches for Rochester High School there in Rochester, Washington, and he recently went the distance in a game, struck out 17 guys. Must have pitched really well. Here's the thing about that game. It went 14 innings, and Dylan, who's a senior, threw 194 pitches. 194 pitches in that game. And now his high school coach is backtracking a little bit and saying, maybe I should have taken him out. But before you think that this is a story of a coach blowing out a kid's arm, listen to the whole story. It's interesting. So we know, as we've seen this year, the latest being Martin Perez of the Rangers, the astronomical number of elbow ligament injuries in Major League Baseball and the Tommy John surgeries that all of these pitchers have needed. Now, it seems like an epidemic. I suspect if you look very hard, Keith Olbermann did a great piece on this on his show. You look hard at the overall numbers. Look, young pitchers get Tommy John surgery. There have been a rash of incredibly talented pitchers this year who have had to undergo the surgery. And losing Jared Parker and Martin Perez and Jose Fernandez all sort of one on top of each other, it feels worse than it otherwise might feel. And Steven Strasburg 2 years ago and Matt Harvey last year, guys who the game is better off for having. So we're very conscious about these pitch counts, but of course all of these pitchers were on really restricted pitch counts and they still had the surgeries. So the bottom line is, we don't know what causes these injuries. We don't know if it's because the pitch counts are too high. We don't know if it's because they're throwing with too much velocity, as Deadspin asks, at too early an age. We don't know if it's because they're throwing the curveball, they're breaking pitches too hard, they're throwing curveballs and sliders too hard. We don't know. What we know is that a lot of young pitchers, a ton of young pitchers, seem to have to undergo the surgery. Having an 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid throw 194 pitches in a single game seems weird. David Price of the Tampa Bay Rays was taken by it. He says, "You're the best, Dylan, but be a little smarter, brother. Love the competitiveness, though." And you have to admire Dylan's competitiveness. Then Dylan responded to David Price. The kid's got to love it. He's having a conversation with David Price. "Just trying to get a much-needed win for my team. I wouldn't want no other coach than the one I have." The English department there at Rochester High School cringing a bit, I suspect, at that tweet for a couple of reasons. So now the coach, Jerry Striegel, the coach, he wouldn't want no other coach other than Jerry Striegel. He talked to Big League Stew's David Brown. He used to work, I believe, at Yahoo Sports, a really good reporter. And it's Striegel, Jerry Striegel. And Striegel says, "I realize now it was way too many pitches. I can understand everybody's concerned about it, and I would tell you I'm concerned also. I probably would change the decision today." The kid, of course, says he loved every minute of it, according to Deadspin, and that he didn't want to come out of the game. But that's the point. The kids never want to come out of the game. It's incumbent on the coach to make that decision. Here's more from Jerry Striegel, the coach. "The biggest issue I have right now, I know what the mentality of a pitcher is. Give me the ball, I'll get it done. I think that's where I sat most of the day. Hindsight being what it is, I know I should not have gone that long with him. I should have stepped in as a coach and said it's time. I didn't do that." So good for him for recognizing that. Rochester High School is in one of the lowest divisions in Washington. This kid is not headed to the professional ranks, and he doesn't anticipate playing college baseball. He's a senior, so he's given it all in his last game. Deadspin points out, if his elbow blows out in a couple years and insurance doesn't cover the ligament replacement surgery, but that's really unlikely to happen if you stop throwing. And in fact, for a lot of pitchers, they might not even have to undergo Tommy John surgery if they stop pitching, but they want to keep pitching, so they have to undergo the surgery. So Dylan himself, so after that, comes back with this tweet, says, "People don't understand. I'm not an ace pitcher. I'm an infielder who pitches every now and then, not a prospect ruining their career." So I love Dylan for sort of pointing that out. Like, everybody bring it down a notch, because I'm not an elite prospect and I'm just pitching every couple of days here and try to get it done. And he did. And he threw 194 pitches, 200 pitches in a game, 14-inning game. Amazing story. But I like the coach's reflectiveness, recognizing what the issue is. And I like Dylan saying to everybody to bring it down a notch.